Real Talk Sports, a branch of Pod01. We are here. We've been a little backed up with our sports show. We apologize. We all have lives and we have been busy. But we're here, man. We are here, and as usual, I would like to introduce the players. I am Scott Baker, and I love sports. Sports is my passion. There's only two loves in my life, music and sports, and we're going to make this thing happen today. To my right, the infamous and ever popular, I call him a New York analyst, Luis Fernandez.
Jets, Jets.
And sitting in today, we have a special guest, a fresh perspective, if you will, Mr. Vinny Fernandez, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo. Welcome to New York, baby.
We are dominated by New York savvy here, so I got my work cut out for me. Now we're gonna start out with the NFL. We just had the draft. You know, a lot of people are buzzing. Every team looked good on paper at this point. It's before the season started. Everybody's aligning their rosters to be successful. So Lou, kick us off, man. Give us some insight on the draft.
Well, we wanted to cover the first round of the draft and give a brief synopsis on each of the picks as we went. So we're just going to start right off with the Indianapolis Colts taking Andrew Luck, quarterback, Stanford. No surprise to anybody.
Right.
Great pick.
Any thoughts?
I'm glad they also picked up Stanford's tight end.
Yeah, in the second round, I
Yep,
believe.
and that'll be a very good comfort zone.
Right.
Andrew Luck. That's good for his development, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So they're putting the right pieces. They're a long way away because they need an entire defense.
Yeah.
But they're going the right direction.
Right. No surprise at number 2, the Washington Redskins made a trade with the Rams, and they picked up Robert Griffin III,
RG3,
quarterback from Baylor. A lot of people think that he should have been the number 1 pick. What are your thoughts, gentlemen?
I don't think it really matters. Number 2, number 1, it's not really that big of a difference. I think right now, short term, he's going to have more success than Andrew Luck because he has a better team around him.
Definitely.
And my only thing is, having to see how he'll take to the program, because that's always the biggest question with college standouts is how they transfer over.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to take that first hit. That first hit, RG3 is going to feel.
Okay.
You know that welcome to the NFL.
Oh yeah, because he's going to get it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's really when we'll see where he'll go.
Okay.
Because Cam Newton had that last year where he was knocked around first couple of games, but he showed that he's one of the greater talents of this of this decade.
Okay, I agree. I think he's a marvelous physical specimen, but on seeing the interviews with him, he's really impressed me with his presence as a player and as a leader. Very smart kid. The players who play behind him will run through a wall for him, and that's all you need for a quarterback. I think he's a great leader. Not to say that Andrew Luck isn't, but I just haven't gotten that sense from Andrew Luck as I did with Robert Griffin. He has a strength to him that I think that people are underestimating to a certain extent, and I think he's going to show people this year.
RG3 is a scoring machine. He made a team like Baylor.
Baylor.
All right, I to be honest, I have never even recognized Baylor as a college football team until RG3 showed his face.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Who was the last great player they drafted from Baylor?
I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
Well, actually, Phil Taylor from Baylor. Was drafted last year by the Browns.
Yeah, it was the Browns.
He'll be out this season,
and that's about it. That's the last play I can recall.
He'll be missing the season. What, he tore a bicep?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he hurt himself. Well, number 3, the Browns. This is what at this point the trades were starting in force. So at this point, surprise. The Vikings moved down from number 3 to number 4 and switched places with the Browns, and they picked up Trent Richardson, the running back from Alabama.
That's gonna be great for them.
Excellent pick, in my opinion. Excellent pick.
Yeah, he's gonna take Peyton Hillis's place. Yeah. Peyton Hillis went somewhere else as a free agent.
The Chiefs. He needed to change the scenery.
All right.
I felt that Trent Richardson is going to bring a whole new culture to this Browns team. They were never. I felt that Peyton Hillis, he was a ground and pound type of guy, but Trent Richardson, man, he's gonna bring a whole new force. You know, I think they can start out with the run game and open up their pass game, something the Browns have never had before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Yeah, I agree. At number 4, the Vikings went ahead and took the offensive tackle from USC, Matt Kalil, which everybody expected.
Yeah.
They were smart. They moved back and got some extra picks in order for the Browns to take the running back.
The Vikings have a lot of needs, so it's no surprise they fell back.
Yeah, they're another team starting over.
Yeah.
starting over. Outside of Jared Allen and Adrian Peterson.
Maybe Percy Harvin, but he's an injury waiting to happen.
Yeah. And Ponder needed somebody Christian Ponder, the quarterback, needed somebody to protect his backside. So at number 5, the Jaguars traded with the Buccaneers. They moved up from number 7 and picked up Justin Blackmon, the wide receiver from Oklahoma State. That was pretty much a given.
That team needs receiver help.
They need everything.
Well, I think that you give Blaine Gabbert a target. Who did he have last year?
Exactly.
We have no idea.
Mike Thomas was the number 1 receiver last year. They also the Jaguars also signed Laurent Robinson.
They sure did, out from the Cowboys.
So that might help their receiving game a lot too.
And I mean, they still got MJD at running back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
as long as you have that, you have some kind of offense, all right? Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty no-brainer there. Number 6, the Cowboys moved up from number 4. Was it number 14?
Something like that.
It moved down to number 6. And this was a pick that it went from the Redskins through the Rams and wound up with the Cowboys, and they took Morris Claiborne, the cornerback from LSU.
In my opinion, this is the best pick in this draft.
Yeah.
The Cowboys needed secondary help.
Absolutely.
Especially with that offense, getting that secondary straight with Claiborne. I think this team can win the NFC East this year.
They're going to be big. It's going to be heavily relying on Romo, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because Romo looked good last season. People knocked Romo, but he looked a lot better. A lot of things that happened with him wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
That team collapsed with the injuries to Des Bryant and Miles Austin.
And I don't know about Jason Garrett in the clutch with some of his decision making.
Yeah.
He failed in a lot of big moments last season.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's harder to be the head coach than it is to be an offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Or the interim head coach. He had that little spurt the year before. Where,
So it's a lot more difficult. I think he found that out real quick last year.
Absolutely.
At number 7, the Buccaneers traded with the Jaguars, and they picked up Mark Barron, the safety from Alabama. They picked up a safety in the top 10, which a lot of people wouldn't have had the balls to do.
Yeah.
I didn't like this pick mainly because I didn't see Mark Barron as a top 10 talent. I felt like they picked need over the people on the board. You had a lot of guys on the board who I would have went with. I would have went with the other cornerback from South Carolina, Gilmore. I actually like Gilmore more than I like Barron.
Gilmore's gonna be nice.
So
I would have actually moved Rondé Barber to safety at this point in his career.
No, that's the plan.
Okay.
They're moving him to safety.
Okay. Because when good cornerbacks get old, you just make them safety.
Right.
Well, I feel like now that since they got Barron, and they're moving Barber to the safety position, who's the other cornerback next to Aqib Talib?
Yeah.
I have no idea who that guy is.
If he's coming back.
If he's coming back. He's had injury issues.
People want you to be scared of Tampa, but I'm not scared of him yet. They still got holes. They still got to put it together. And we got to see with their coach how his program works.
I thought they bailed out on the previous coach a little too fast.
Raheem?
Yeah, they bailed out on him really fast.
Well, I think it's just because he fell so hard. Mm-hmm. They went from 10-6 to 4-7.
Well, I feel like that was Josh Freeman. That was Josh Freeman regressing.
That slump.
Yeah, he had that slump.
Yeah.
What was his third year last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he kind of had a tough time. But I also like the Bucs' other pick, the pick later in the first round, the Doug Martin pick.
Yeah.
That's a pick that I'm expecting big things out of.
And I don't think LeGarrette Blount like that, but he'll be okay.
LeGarrette Blount last year might have lost his starting job. Like, this kid Doug Martin, he's legit.
Yeah.
So at number 8, the Dolphins, thank goodness, being a Jet fan.
Hallelujah.
They went ahead and picked Ryan Tannehill, the quarterback from Texas A&M.
The pristine.
That was a bit of a stretch.
Another need pick.
Another need pick.
I felt like Ryan Tannehill isn't nowhere close to a first round talent. I feel like in college he didn't show me, how do you say, a quarterback who can proceed to take a team to the playoffs, to a championship. He's not a franchise quarterback.
I'd have rather got Whedon or Cousins for Tannehill.
I would have liked Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson too. At that position, when you get to the third and fourth best quarterback, it's really splitting heads.
Right.
It really is.
I felt like the Dolphins reached. They had plenty of other needs.
Yeah, absolutely.
They fell in love with the quarterback.
I hope it works out.
I don't.
I hope it doesn't.
I hope as a Jet fan that it fails miserably. And I hope that our defense welcomes Mr. Tannehill immediately to the NFL.
Especially with Brandon Marshall gone, he has no target now. His best option is what? Fasano, Devon Best, Hartline, Camarillo, guys who I don't even know if they're still on the team.
Thank you, Miami.
Barely.
Thank you.
Barely, yeah.
So at number 9, we moved on to the Panthers. And they went ahead and took the linebacker from Boston College, Luke Kuechly.
I love that pick.
Good pick. Best inside linebacker in the draft. They needed defensive help very badly.
But Carolina had it hard on defense. When you lose John Beeson and Thomas Howard in one season, that's huge. Because John Beeson is a monster.
Yes.
Yeah, when he's healthy.
And you know, me being an NFC South representative, I loved it, then I hated it. But yeah, Kuechly's gonna be a problem. He's gonna be a stalwart. Carolina on paper looks extremely dangerous.
Do you think that they should have? Do you think they should have gotten the kid from Memphis, Poe, the D tackle? You don't think they should have went for the D tackle?
I don't think he's gonna be as good as advertised.
No, okay.
I don't think he doesn't have
Workout
the
warrior.
motor.
He's a workout warrior. I saw.
Yeah, he doesn't have the motor. He doesn't translate on field. He played in Memphis.
True that.
Now, the one thing we'll talk about Poe when we get to him. He's a couple of picks away, but let's move on to the Bills at number 10. They went ahead and took the cornerback from South Carolina, Stephon Gilmore. That was the first slight surprise in the draft. A lot of people weren't expecting that. They were expecting them maybe to go O-line.
The Bills need defense. I felt like their defense was non-existent. They also got Mario Williams in the offseason. Huge upgrade to the defense with Williams, Stephon Gilmore. I love him as a cornerback. Whitner, I think it's Dante Whitner.
Yeah.
I feel like this really improves their secondary, and with bringing Mario Williams in, I count that as a draft day steal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good move for them. I mean, they needed so much. You know, you really
doesn't matter what direction you go.
Yeah, get a good player, and he really moved up a lot in the draft in the last few weeks. At number 11, the Chiefs picked the infamous Dontari Poe.
Another interior defensive lineman for the Chiefs.
How many have they had? Tyson Jackson,
Glenn Dorsey.
And how have those worked out?
I mean, Glenn Dorsey is a average to above average type of guy. Tyson Jackson hasn't lived up to his number 3.
That's what Poe will be.
You think so?
They're going to have the best line rotations probably in football. It won't translate.
They better.
Like these are all top 5.
These are all top 10 picks. They're paying serious money for
I don't like that pick. And like I said, you know, I play defensive lineman, so shots out to you for making your money. But when I see him, he doesn't jump out at me.
Like I feel like the Chiefs had other needs. You know, they had plenty of other needs. You know, they could have went. I felt that of course O-line, but they really took him too early. They took Poe too early. They fell in love with his combine.
Yeah, they fell in love with that combine, and he really impressed in his shorts. I've gone back and forth with Poe. At first, I really felt like he was overrated, but one of the people that I really, really respect, one of the analysts that I really respect is Charlie Casserly from the NFL Network. And he brought up the fact that when he looked at the tape of this player, he saw him being double teamed a lot. He created a lot of plays for his teammates, and he didn't see the lack of production that a lot of other people saw from Dontari Poe. So maybe you wouldn't have put him in the top 10, top 11, maybe more so in the top 20, but he had no problem with the play. I don't know if he would have given him to the Chiefs. So it's up in the air right now with Dontari Poe. That's a situation that's in flux right now. At number 12, the Eagles moved up from number 15, and they got this pick from the Seahawks and picked Fletcher.